yeah, you can find me on Facebook or Hernandez2010.com.
And there are many ways to help on your campaign, whether it's phone calls or whether it's parades. Or
yeah, like I said, I'm running in St. Paul, which is Highland Park, Marion Park, Crocus Hill, Crosby Park, Denoyer Park. There's about 80,000 people that live in this district, and the way that I plan to defeat Senator Cohen is it's really going to be a one-on-one campaign. I plan on working harder than any of my volunteers. That's my #1 campaign pledge, is to be the #1 volunteer on the campaign. I plan to knock on the doors of people in St. Paul and to make the phone calls. And so, yeah, if you want to know how to help, I'm real big on network marketing and promotions. So every person that I talk, I ask them, can you tell 5 other people about me? Or if you see a post that's on Facebook, can you share that post on your wall, or a YouTube video? Can you email that video out to people? But I think that those sort of networks and outreach is very important.
I think it's absolutely fabulous. I should mention that not only that, he had a great taco party this week, and his mom makes the meanest tacos out there.
Yeah, thanks for coming to that, too.
What a great turnout. I mean, the excitement for you, I can already see it there, and it's just going to continue to snowball. I know it is.
Yeah, well, I'm fortunate to come from a large Mexican-Irish Catholic family from St. Paul. I'm the oldest of 7 kids, and I'm the oldest of like 80 first cousins. So, yeah, that party was great. It was... One of the ideas I have is, you know, politics sometimes can be so uptight, you know, in terms of how people do it, and you have some of these candidates have such enormous egos, and it's really what is turning off people. People are tired of the same old politics and the same old politicians, the career politicians, people who are in there for life, people who are detached from the community. So we had the idea, let's just have an informal taco party at my parents' house where I grew up, right by the University of St. Thomas in Marion Park. And we had about 100, 120 people over. Everyone enjoyed the tacos.
And beer.
Drank refreshments and beer for the people who were over 21. And, you know, everyone had a great time. And I think that is what people are yearning for. They don't care about political affiliations anymore. They care about people who are real, who are attached to the communities, who understand the local issues that is affecting everybody, and finding those things that we are all bonded by, which is our wealth, our prosperity, and the futures that we all want to have for our children and grandchildren. And unfortunately, the Republicans and the Democrats have many big government, big spending, detached leaders right now that are leading our government. And I don't know, do you watch the NCAA tournaments at all?
Love them.
The coach, I was so inspired. Butler's coach, okay, the 33-year-old guy, Brad Stevens, I think his name is. But when I saw him, I'm like, wow, this is what we need across the board.
Across the board.
New people, young faces, you know, fresh ideas, and we need to start taking a little bit more initiative in our futures because you know, we are being combated right now. There are people out there that don't want us to prosper.
I know. And you were right. You hit the nail on the head when you talked about how disillusioned people were of all political stripes. They want to see something different. And I think younger people, new ideas, and I don't mean to diss the older people either, because they have plenty of great ideas too. But you know what? The old ideas aren't working. And we have to change that. That hope and change didn't work out the way people thought it was going to work out.
Well, it was never defined.
Right.
You know, I think if you want change, you have to define what that change is up front so that we all have a vision that we can start heading together. So
yes, and I think people are paying attention, and it's so refreshing to have a candidate that's straight up out front. This is where I want to go, this is what I want to do, and this is what I want to, what the direction that I want to take the state of Minnesota. It's fabulous. So when you're out knocking on doors and talking to your neighbors and having beer and tacos with people, what are they telling you is the most important issue in St. Paul?
Well, I mean, one of the biggest issues is rent and property taxes, which go hand in hand. Over the last 10 years in St. Paul, property taxes have increased like 200 or 300%.
Awesome.
And yeah, and it's the result of inefficient government, and their answer is tax more and more and more. And literally, the people of St. Paul are being taxed at a house and home.